Hi. So let's figure out how to do page 39, harmonizing with the 4 chord in the key of G major. So I'm going to pull up the whiteboard so we can talk what we need to be doing. So when we harmonize notes, we got to look at the first note in the measure to figure out what chord we need to be using. So it looks like on page 39 we have three options: the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5/7 chord. We use the 1 chord if the melody that's given is either the first, third, or fifth step in whatever key you're in. We use the 4 chord if it's the first, fourth, or sixth step in whatever key you're in. Or we use the 5/7 if it's the second or the fourth to figure out what key we're in. So actually it's the 2 and the 5, or the 7 and what key we're in. So let's take an example, G major. So what if the starting note is, for instance, a B of that measure? We need to figure out from the key we're in, G major, we start on G. How many steps B is away from G? If I look at the piano, it goes G, A, B. Looks like it's a third apart. So that means it's the third step, and which means that would be using the 1 chord based on the rule. Okay, so now let's look at actual theory. So I'm going to stop my whiteboard and I'm going to pull up our theory assignment. Okay, so let's take a look at our note. We're in the key of G major, so we need to count how many notes far apart from the tonic, G. And it looks like this is a D. And D is how many keys apart from G. It is a fifth. So that means we need to use the 1 chord because it fits that rule. Okay, so now let's take a look at the next measure. It doesn't look like it's starting on the same note. It's starting on a different note, and it looks like it's a note higher. So if this is a D, that means this has to be an E. It's up a step than we did earlier. And if this is a fifth, that means this has to be a sixth. And which means if we look at the roll, it is going to use the 4 chord, because we use the 4 chord if we're the first, fourth, or sixth step of the given key. Okay. Now we have this last one. We have the key. It's a G, which means it's technically on the first step. So we have two choices. We can use the 1 or the 4 chord. And so in this case, you get to choose. I'm going to use just the 1 chord again, because that makes more sense to my brain. Let's do one more together. Okay, so we have, looks like it's a C. And how many keys apart is from the G to the C? And it looks, let's think about it real quick. Okay, looks like it's 4 keys apart, which is a fourth, which means that it's using the 4 chord. Okay, and I'll have you finish the rest on your own. So how about you write this in your book. So we use the 1 chord if it's the first, third, or fifth step. That's not a very... We use the 4 chord if it's the 1, 4, or 6th step. And we use the 5-7 chord if it's the 2nd or 7th step. Okay. Hopefully this answers your questions and we learn how to harmonize in G major, adding the 4 chord as an option. If you have any questions, feel just message me on Tanara. I'd be happy to answer them. Bye.